Hello. It's been a very, very long time. Claire, hi. I know, right? Back on YouTube. Oh my God. The reason why I decided to come back on here today is that some of you, well, most of you don't know why we've been absent. And I'm going to like directly point all the fingers back to me. As far as the technology goes, I do the posts, I do the YouTube, I create the videos. Ken has still been doing a lot of wonderful stuff on Patreon, but as far as YouTube goes, it's me. I'm the one that does this. And I wanted to come on to explain to you why the long absence, because I'm sure, if I remember correctly, it's probably been a year since we posted anything. And so I'm going to be very open today. I'm going to be very transparent to let you know kind of the journey as to why and give some hope, some things that I have personally moved into. Some of you know that last year I quit teaching the sacred languages on Patreon, and there was like a mass exodus off Patreon, and I totally get it. I wasn't teaching anymore. And there was a reason why I wasn't teaching anymore. I was experiencing such incredible brain fog that in the middle of share times, I literally would lose my train of thought. I wouldn't be able to grasp a hold of what I was trying to say and then trying to back engineer where I was to remember where I was going. And it was incredibly hard on my heart because one of my favorite things to do is to teach on the secret languages. I mean, I just freaking love, you guys know that. Those who've been following us on YouTube or even on Patreon know how much that has been to me and how much it's meant to me, especially within my spiritual journey. So having to quit teaching the sacred languages was a very hard thing to lay down. What I didn't understand was what I was going to go through last year. And my husband was teaching on Patreon, and I haven't shared clips. You guys have no idea what's been going on for the last year because that has kept going. And Ken has been bringing some amazing revelations through the sacred languages and tying it to where we currently are in time. But he had started sharing a series, and he was talking about a healing crisis that was going to come. Little did I know that he was going to be discussing something that was going to be very intimate that I had to walk out, my own personal healing crisis. So to let you guys know what happened and not to drag you into a lot of weeds, and I'm not going to keep you long here today. I do have some videos that I'm going to start uploading and start having a little bit more action on YouTube because it's been a long time in coming because Ken has such an amazing nuggets to share. I want you guys to be able to participate and partake in that. Anyway, what happened was last June I broke my ankle. And when I broke my ankle, freaking shit went sideways. There's no other way to put that. I was obviously put down, and I have some incredible technology I'm working with, the Regenesis technology, and I was able to rebalance it. It took like 5 months to do it, but part of it was, me sometimes being a little bullheaded. I just didn't want to stay off of it. And I've kind of had the mantra of most of my life of do it self. And I can do it. It's just do it self. It's funny. I'm seeing people drop off. There's only 4 people listening right now. Well, whoever's here is meant to be here, and whoever's not, doesn't matter. The replay's available. I'm just here to just kind of tell you guys what's happened. So when I broke my ankle, I was able to rebalance it. But as soon as I started becoming sedentary, everything went sideways in my life. And that was in June when that happened. And then in September, I had a minor heart attack. And it was really scary. I was seeing everything in my body, all the systems were starting to shut down. All of my centers in my body, every organ was operating at 10% energy. And there was on September 26th, September 27th, I had a very scary moment where I knew that I wasn't going to make it through the night. And I told my husband that I actually hand wrote a will. And I told him, I said, I don't think I'm going to make it through the night. So I just want to make sure that I have this handwritten. And it was a really, really real moment. I mean, we have real moments between us, but when you're facing death, when you're facing to the end of your avatar and your journey here, we come up close with death. We come to that face of death. And it's just really a transition over into something new. And I had to walk that. And that night I had a minor heart attack. And while I was going through my minor heart attack, my husband did not know about it because we weren't sharing the same bed anymore. Because going through menopause and all those lovely hot flashes, I would be up a lot in the middle of the night, tossing covers on, covers off, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And I wanted to make sure he slept. So I decided to go through this by myself. I decided to walk through this heart attack myself. And I had something that transpired that radically shifted everything in that moment. I was in a place where I believe it was my higher self that I was speaking with. And it wasn't, I can't say it was a room. I definitely know that it was an out of body experience. And I had a conversation. I'm going to take these earbuds off. Listen, you guys probably can hear me just fine without the earbuds. I'll hold the microphone here. I had this conversation, and I knew what was going. It was my exit point. So the conversation was more like, okay, you, Carrie, you get to make a choice. You get to take a left-hand path or a right-hand path, and both are good. There was no judgment associated. It was completely peaceful. You can go left or you can go right. And the left side was told to me that I could let go of my body. I could let go of all the pain, the sorrow, the suffering, what I was dealing with in such a restricted body, restricted movement, because literally all I could do was go from the bed to the recliner, to the bed. And at one point we had to move the bed into the living room so that I could actually look out my front window in the garden that I planted, because I couldn't even go outside and garden, so that I could at least have something good to look at, something that tried to bring me hope in life, and being able to look at it in my front window. And I'm very grateful for that. But when I was in that moment and it was told to me I could let everything go, I could let go of my body, and I could let go of all that pain and sorrowing, and that it was good. I mean, it was really tempting. I'm not going to lie to you. It was really tempting. And then the other side of it was said, you can make this other choice and you could stay here, but it's going to be an uphill journey for you to get your healing back. And I thought it was quite funny, because what was shared with me is, because of this technology that I work with in bringing homeostasis to the body, it was told to me, you can heal yourself, right? You know that you have that. And that's actually the latter half of the conversation. But I chuckle now because of the choice I made. But it was told to me that if I chose life, it was going to be an uphill journey. But if I was going to choose it, I needed to walk it out. And then I was shown a table with, if anybody knows how you put a patchwork quilt together and you make all the squares, it was shown to me that I had made all of these squares of all these things that I wanted to do while I was here, why I chose to come and incarnate in this time. And I had made all these patches, and they were all beautiful, but they were not put together. Hi, Mindy. So they weren't put together. They were just laid out on the table as separate, and the quilt was never completed. And I looked at that and I was like, well, okay, that's not good. I came here to do something and it's not finished. I have these beautiful patches, but the quilt's not done. So obviously I'm not done with what I came here to do. And then after that, hi, so good. I'm really glad. Glow Bear, I'm so happy you're here. I looked at that quilt that hadn't been put together and I thought, yeah, I'm not done yet. So as easy it could have been for me to let go, and could have let go of my body and ended the misery that I was in, because I was extremely depressed, because I couldn't share on the sacred languages. I had zero energy. I could barely sit for an hour when Ken would share, and I would have to excuse myself because I was just so flat out exhausted that there was nothing I could do. Then I was taken on another path to journey down the left-hand path. And I was able to see what it was like without me being here, meaning the people's lives that I have impacted while I was here. And, when you're in pain and suffering, when your body's falling apart and you feel like it's betraying you, and all you do is hurt, and you're dealing with the depression, you become very myopic in what you're focusing on. I mean, it was just me, huffing and puffing through the day, trying to find any glimmer of hope through my day. And you don't realize the ripple effect that you make on people's lives. And so I was able to see this snapshot of these different people, of what they were having to go through without me being in their life. Hi, Paul. So I was going through and seeing them and the grief that they were experiencing and the shock of, like, Carrie's not here. And I was able to feel what they were feeling. And it was face after face after face after face. And it just wrecked me. It just absolutely wrecked me, because it was at that crucial point of walking through the valley of the shadow of death where it was so tempting for me to just let go. And I was told it was good. If I wanted to let go, it was my exit point. I could totally do that. But when I saw how many lives were affected from my presence being here, and I saw the grief that they were carrying because I was no longer here, I realized how beautiful that ripple effect is that we all make in the other lives that we touch. And there was so many faces, there were so many that flashed by, and feeling that, and feeling that loss and that absence, that it really forced me emotionally to choose life. And so I chose life, because it was too much of a hardship, like on my own heart, to realize that if I would have chosen to leave this body, that people would have to have journeyed that sense of loss, that sense of separation. And I didn't want people to have to go through that. So I chose life. And then that conversation came about, well, you can heal yourself. But I have this incredible technology that I'm working with. And I said, well, yes, I know I do. I know I can. But I love this technology that I'm working with, and I really want to do it from that, because it felt like it was part of one of those patchwork quilt pieces that I had set out on the table, was really learning to master this technology that I'm working with that provides homeostasis for the body and bringing balance and energy to different areas of the body that need balanced. Because that's really what it's doing. It doesn't heal the body heals itself. We were created to heal ourselves. We have everything in us to make that happen. But sometimes energetically we need to be supported. And so I really wanted to continue my journey with that. And I'm really grateful that I did, because now, 6 months later, all of you guys, thanks, Heather. I'm glad that I chose life too. I'm really glad that I chose life too. Sorry. So 6 months later, there was some really critical pieces, because ever since COVID, using that term very loosely, but ever since COVID happened, shit went sideways all over the world. And there's many people, thanks, Ron. There's many people that have tried to figure out why things are going with their body. And I had a conversation today with a beautiful soul, and it was the same kind of thing, that she was seeing people in her own body and her husband's body, and they're in their late 40s. I just turned 52 last week. And I shouldn't have been having the issues going on in my life, because I do everything right. And many of you are doing things right. Like, you're making wise choices with your fooding. You're, like, eating organic and non-GMO food, and you're watching the water, and you're staying away from processed sugars and seed oils. I mean, there's many of you that are doing everything right. So when you get in a place where you're doing everything right, you're taking the right supplements, you're working out, or at least getting out to walk, you're taking care of your body, and then shit goes sideways, and you feel like you're dying and you don't have answers. Well, that's what I walked through. And so, of course, I'm seeking answers to try to figure out what is going on in my body. And I was led to very specific sites. So there was like 3 things that I did that really brought things back together for me. And I did them one at a time. It was like, this thing came, and then this thing came, and then this last thing came. And I wanted to share these things with you, because if you guys are at a place where you're trying to figure out what's going on in your body, I'm here. I would love to share with you what I found. Some of it I don't want to make public, because I just don't know where the cancel culture is at. I really don't give a rat's ass. But I don't want to be sharing things and then it to be canceled, when I can direct you to a place to go where you can get answers. I share a lot on Patreon. I put a lot of that information on Patreon, and a lot of it I do for free members. So even if you sign up for free, a lot of the health issues and the health things that I've been doing, it's all out there. I've just chosen to not do it on this platform. So I will make sure that I put that link out there in case you guys are interested. For some of the people that are coming on that don't know that we have a Patreon page, all of that information is there. But I wanted to speak about a couple of them publicly. Well, one of them I'm going to be a little mindful about how I use the words on this. So understanding what COVID was really all about was a game changer for me, because there was things. I'll mention Dr. Brian Ardis. If those of you who do not know this man, I am so grateful that he came out with the information that he came out with. I'm not going to talk about that publicly, but if you really want to know what that is, I can share some links with you. He has a lengthy 3-hour discussion where he lays it all out and all the white papers to prove what it was and why it's still affecting us today, and why some of us have been dealing with long COVID symptoms. There's a reason why that is happening. And once you understand that, once you begin to comprehend what that was all about, it really gives you an ability to make some choices. Because I've been declaring that this is the year that we get our health back. This is the year. If you guys remember me sharing about a year ago about how I was hearing this cry going forward, and I would hear it like, let's go, let's go. And it's when I was watching, Ninja Warrior. Okay, I really love that because I was always putting myself in that place of, if I had been 10 years younger or 15 years younger, I probably would have been doing that just because I'm adventurous. But my body at the time was saying, no, maybe you can just live vicariously through them. But I began hearing this, and I believe this was about 3 or 4 years ago, and I began hearing, let's go, let's go. And I kept pondering it because it was a phrase that I hadn't heard. I hadn't heard this before. All of a sudden, everybody was using it. And then I slowed it down for a little bit, and spirit, higher self, oversoul, whatever term you want to use is fine, said, slow it down. Let us go. And I instantly, it just like hit me. It just hit me in my heart, like stabbed me. And I'm like, oh my God. We are talking about a second Exodus kind of thing. Now, a lot of you guys know that I have collapsed a lot of the narratives that we see within the Bible because of the years within the sacred languages, and being able to see these narratives as more of the inward journey. But I also knew that there was kind of this element of the second Exodus that was going to take place, and I didn't know what it was going to look like. But then I began to see as I started putting the pieces together. So let us go was like, we're in this place where we have been captive. And when COVID hit and all of us had to walk through that journey, and bodies not doing what they were supposed to do and still not fully recovered, it was like a cry that was going out, and it kept going out and kept going out. Let us go, let us go, let us go. And I feel that this year, it's now changed to here we go. Here we go. Not let us go like we're being captive. It's things are coming to give us answers. Because when we're in a place where we don't have answers, that's really the meaning of Sheol. It's the place of inquiry. So you're under fire, you have questions, you're trying to figure things out. I'm actually sharing like Hebrew letters without mentioning the Hebrew letters. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and you have more questions than answers. That's really Sheol, aka hell. I'm in hell. I don't have the answers. And that's where I was last September, as I had so many questions as to why my body was failing at 51 years old, and I didn't have the answers. So that cry was going forward. Now, 6 months later, going from that point, the answers started coming. And that's why I say, here we go, because I have my vitality back. You guys didn't live in this house to see what was going on with me. Maybe some of you were like, God, why is like the Stand 121 YouTube channel, why in the world is it not doing anything? Where did they go? Did they just stop? No, we didn't stop. I stopped. Ken has been very faithful every week sharing stuff on Patreon, but he doesn't have the technical side. So if he's not on the technical side, he can't put videos on YouTube. That was my job. But all I could do was just try to maintain getting up every day to try to hang on to life, and I really couldn't do anything else. So the Dr. Artist information came to me. And I have information on Patreon about that. And if you guys want information on that, go ahead and put it down in the chat. I need email information because I'm not going to put it out on YouTube. And it might take me a bit because I am extremely busy right now, but I want you to have this information. It will make it easier if you just go to our Patreon channel. It's all there. If you go into the collections and you go into Sarafa, all of that information, you can go back and you can go and take a look at it, and all of that is there. All of that is there. So I would rather for you go to the Patreon channel, go to the collections, sign up for free, go to the collections, pull up Sarafa, and then you can scroll down through it, and all of that information is there. That was the absolute huge, most critical piece. And I'm going to share with you something interesting that I found when I was researching things and trying to figure this out. It's interesting to note that viruses have never been isolated. They have not isolated one virus, but yet they call things viruses. they call things viruses, and they make us afraid. But if you do etymology and you study and look to see what a virus is, it's poisons, toxins, and venoms. I'm going to pause there for a moment because I want you to be thinking about this. A virus is poison, toxin, or venom. When you know this, then you know that something can be done because there's things to neutralize poisons. There's way to get toxins out, and there's way to neutralize venoms. This was a huge piece for me to understand what was going on in my body and what was going on in many people's bodies. Because if you can find that element that is going to help with that, you can rid the body of all of those things. So cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus, herpes virus, papillomavirus, HIV, all adenovirus, rhinovirus, coronavirus, poisons, toxins, venoms. And then the answer came as to what we needed to do to get rid of those poisons, toxins, and venoms. So that was the first thing. The second thing, in going through and being able to see the energy in my body, I was able to see that I had a shit ton of parasites. Now, a couple of them, one of them in particular, I was extremely anemic, and trying to figure out the root cause, because if you can't get to the root, then you can never take care of what the real issue is. So the root cause of my anemia was a certain parasite, and it comes in through the soles of your feet. Many of you know that I love to throw frisbee with my husband. So last year when I broke my ankle, I was so pissed because that whole summer, my whole frisbee throwing time was out the window. And it was like the one thing that brought me joy every day was going to the park, walking barefoot, grounding, getting the sunlight, getting the fresh air, and throwing frisbee with my husband like a little kid. Well, when you're in an area where dogs are walking and they're doing their business and they're pooping, even if an owner scoops up the poop, there's still some residual. So you'll get rain, you'll get the lawnmowers over it, but it can taint the soil. And this one particular one, aka threadworm, hookworm, enters in through your feet. And when it gets into your feet, hey Lily, are you coming on the screen to say hi to everybody? So when it gets into your body, it actually makes it a horrible journey because it gets into your bloodstream, and then it gets into your lungs, and then when it gets into your lungs, it climbs out through the trachea, it can cause asthmatic stuff, and you cough, and then you swallow it and gets in the gut, and then it becomes worms, and then this one particular one is parthenogenic, means it doesn't have to have a male. It just starts reproducing eggs. And then when they get released, they go in and attach, and they drink your blood. I had so many of these parasites, it was making me anemic. I don't know about you, that's just disgusting. And then there was another one I had that was causing symptoms of MS, because it does kind of the same thing. It doesn't enter in through your feet, but it comes in on vegetables. So if you're not extremely washing your vegetables and soaking them with a vegetable wash, you could be eating these eggs and they get in your body. Western medicine doesn't address parasites. It doesn't address it because they say it's a third world country problem. Anyone that has pets has parasites. Do you kiss on them? Do you love on them? Do you let them sleep on your bed? Do you, spend time with them? You have parasites. And it's time to get the temple clean, to clean it out, make it clear. It causes issues with your gut big time. It causes flatulence. Any of you gassy? That's caused by parasites. You have diarrhea, you have constipation, it's parasites. Irritable bowel syndrome, parasites. It's all freaking parasites. So what it came to me was a company that makes an incredible parasite cleanse called Cellcore. Amazing natural substances. And the one that was kind of missing in it, and it's a whole kit, so it's got the liquid, it's got the binder, it's got the herbs. The one that really kicked it, because I've had parasite cleanses before, but I never saw the evidence in the toilet bowl when I did these parasite cleanses in the past. Ivermectin didn't do it, femdesmidol, or however you say that, didn't do it. They didn't do it. This one did. And I am telling you, it was a freaking horror show in the toilet bowl, people. I didn't do what was suggested. Like, I'm getting graphic. Sorry, I'm getting graphic. Hi, Lisa. It's good to see you. It's been forever. I'm getting graphic here, but deal with it. If you've got a weak stomach, kick off. It's fine. If those of you guys can handle the horror show, I'm going to tell you like it is, because I wanted to tell you what I did to get my health back so I could actually be talking to you today on a live stream. Full vibrancy, life back. So putting a colander that's totally dedicated for poo, putting it in the toilet, defecating, and then flushing the toilet and letting the water rinse off the fecal matter so that you can see what's left. I was shocked. I was horrified. I was freaked out. I was like, oh my God, these were living in me. And we're not, the little ones, the little pinworms, yeah, that I had that when I was a kid because of pets. Those came out right away. But 10 days later is when the big guys come out. And when you start seeing things anywhere from 6 inches to 18 inches to 2 feet long living in your intestines, and now you're seeing them dead in the toilet bowl, it is a horror show. My husband said it was oddly satisfying. That's what he was saying. Oddly satisfying to be able to see that leaving the body. Critical piece, Cellcore. If you need a link, let me know. Again, all of that is on Patreon. In the collections, Sarafa, I have it all there for you. You can go and subscribe as a free member and get this information, get the link, go and get it done. I can answer questions for you. I can help you. I can tell you how I did it. It was a 10-day protocol, 10 days on, 5 days off, 10 days on, 5 days off, 10 days on, 5 days off. And all 3 times we were seeing the effects of these parasites leaving our body. Made a huge difference in the digestion. Huge difference. Claire, you're so funny. It's all good. Well, we're all enlightened adults here. Oh, well, I'm glad that you can handle this really gross topic, but it's important because Western medicine does not address this. It does not address it. It does not address it. So all of these things and trying to put you on pills and put you on medications to try to take care of symptoms, if we can't get to the root issue, if we can't get to the root issue of the poisons, toxins, and venoms and parasites, bacteria, molds, and funguses, your body at some point is going to fall out of balance and get dis-eased, no longer in ease. I'm about bringing solutions to you. First of all, we were bringing solutions to you with the sacred languages to help collapse the narrative of what religion was doing in binding us. Then it's like I started my journey with the body as a fitness professional teaching high intensity interval training classes, which then propelled me spiritually. Then I got into the sacred languages, and then that took me through the dark night of the soul, integration of multiple personalities, healing all of those trauma things that happened that were stuck in my DNA. And it's like I came full circle and I came back to the body again, and now getting the temple clean and clear. when you can have that clear thought, when you can get the body so you don't have anything in your vessel, when you can sweep it out, they're vampiric by nature. I mean, like I said, the one was sucking blood, it was drinking my blood. The other ones were robbing nutrients from my body so that my body couldn't assimilate the food I was eating. And the very last thing that I did, the most critical piece that happened to me 3 weeks ago, somebody reached out to me to tell me about a product called Fix, Mature Hops Extract. And I'm so glad she did. Because even though I had got rid of the poisons, toxins, and venoms out of my body, which that information is on Patreon, I'm not going to talk about it here, I was able to get the parasites out of the body. I still didn't have energy. And it was all I could do to get up in the morning, to do what I need to do, huff and puff through the day. There was no way for me to come on live stream. Goose egg. There was no way for me to try to edit Ken's videos and make short videos so that I could post them here so that you guys could get information from us. Goose egg. Nothing. When I decided to start taking the Mature Hops Extract, the very first day, I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh my God, I feel fully rested. What happened? I've had issues with my sleep since in my early 20s. Part of it, I think, is I've just been riddled with parasites my whole life. But I slept. It was still 6 hours, probably a little bit more than, because I was usually only getting 4 to 6 a night, because I'd get up in the middle of the night, 2 to 3 hours, couldn't sleep. You guys didn't know this. I haven't told any of you this journey. You had no idea what was going on because I'm private. But I really felt like it was time to talk about this. So I didn't get to sleep. 4 to 6 hours. 6 was a good day. 4 was normal. I slept and I woke up refreshed. The next day that I was on it, I slept that night all the way through. I had 8 hours of sleep and I woke up refreshed. And I slept in. You guys know that I usually get up between 2 and 4 in the morning. It was 5:15. Oh my God, it was 5:15. That was really sleeping in for me. I had a 6 a.m. appointment. And I was like, oh my God, I got 45 minutes. I got a Zoom meeting I got to get on. Oh my God. I ran around. I was doing what I needed to do. I got onto the meeting 2 hours later, started doing some other things. And I realized 3.5 hours later, I didn't have my go juice. I didn't have my yerba mate that I usually need to get my ass out of bed to get moving. I didn't need it. I had all this energy. What the hell? It happened the next day too. That energy just came flying through me and I didn't need to have my stimulant. So first of all, that saved a whole lot of money if you don't have to buy the stimulant. Second of all, it's easier on your adrenal glands because you're not stressing it out with caffeine of trying to stimulate yourself so you can get your ass out of bed and make it through the day. The other thing that happened, I had excruciating migraines for 6 months. I didn't want to take any NSAIDs because I was trying to rebuild my gut flora. So I would suffer through my headaches all day. By day 3, they were gone. Day 3, gone. No more headaches. And to not have that pounding all day long, sometimes waking me up in the middle of the night so I couldn't sleep because my head hurt so bad. All of a sudden it vanished. No more headaches. 4th day, woke up. I was dealing with some issues with losing sensation in my feet. I had a buzzing signal that was starting in my gut all the way down to my legs. I was showing signs of a disease that I don't want to give it names here because I'm being very mindful about the words that I'm using. But I was losing strength in my legs. And you guys that know me, frisbee, hiking, jogging, working out, it's kind of the part of my life that I couldn't do because I wasn't steady on my feet. All of that was gone by day 4. Day 4. The next thing that happened, well, within the same amount of time, I was running. I had so much energy, so much freaking energy without even any energy drinks that I'm just doing all of this stuff. Like, oh my God, who is this person? Who is this person? Because I don't think I've ever known her. I was able to do OMAD, 1 meal a day. OMAD, 1 meal a day. Now, in all the research that I've done with fasting, the benefits of how the body heals itself in the fasted state is so amazing. And intermittent fasting is a really good way to introduce yourself before a prolonged fasting, and you still get benefits like in an 18-hour fast. I'm telling you guys, Trying to even make it to 18 hours was excruciating. I would be freaking looking at the clock, thinking about food. When can I eat? When can I eat? All of a sudden, I realized that I had gone 24 hours without food. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, holy cow, it's 2 o'clock. Haven't had anything to eat today. I did that for several days in a row. And then one day it was 25 hours. So here was something that I've never been able to do, that I'd always struggled with, and now I was doing OMAD with ease. Let's talk about the relaxation part of it. I have never known this version of me that has been totally zen, totally chilled, totally mellow, just footloose, fancy free, totally relaxed. And the reason why is this mature hops extract stimulates healthy function of the vagus nerve. When the vagus nerve is functioning, it puts your body into the parasympathetic nervous system. If you guys don't know that term, there's two sides of it, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. You would know one of them as fight or flight, and then you would know the other one as rest and digest. I do not believe that I've ever known this version of me, because for as long as I can remember, I was always anxious. I don't need to go in my past. I don't need to be dredging you and putting you and pulling you into the weeds of my past, because that's irrelevant. It's not who I am today, and I embody my now space. But most of my life, that parasympathetic nervous system was not functioning. I was always in fight or flight, enlarged amygdala, spidey senses, danger around every corner. And that parasympathetic nervous system, when that gets activated, it's your rest and digest. So when I was having digestive issues, not being able to process the food well, it's because the vagus nerve was not functioning the way it should have been. My rest at night, I was not having a good rest because the cortisol levels were spiked. And it doesn't help when you're in menopause, because that happens anyways. So I am chilling through my day. And I kept looking at my husband, pointing to me, going, who is this? I don't know who she is. Who is this person that I'm looking at right now? Because I've never experienced her before. God, I hope she stays. 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks later, she's here. She's vibrant. The energy that I have is like when I was a teenager. The sleep that I have is when I was like a teenager, and I'm 52 years old. Getting up in the morning, all kinds of energy all day, and it's not a stimulant. It comes from the extraction coming from the hops flower. There's 3 bitter acids that trigger, it's the bitter receptors in your mouth, on your tongue, into your esophagus, into your gut, and it stimulates the vagus nerve so that all 3 connect. Now I'm going to connect this spiritually. The 3 shall become one. We've talked about the Christ in Magdalene before, and the Christ in us, and the Magdalene, the masculine and the feminine. You might know this as Father, Son, Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is feminine. The Father is masculine. The Son is the new creation that comes from both of them. So in the body, we have the mind that's here, and we have the feminine energy, and then we have the child. I actually was saying it opposite, but now I see it as the mind of Christ, the heart of Magdalene, and the child that is in the stomach area. Because when we get triggered by fear, a lot of the times our digestive system turns off because we're in fight or flight, and that's all in the gut area. So when you have the mind that is connected to the heart, that is then connected to the gut, all 3 are in unison. They're all now communicating. What does that mean to the body? That means that all the hormones begin to function properly. And one of the most critical pieces in this is leptin and ghrelin. If I had my friend Steve Conover on here, but Steve here, he could talk to us all day about the leptin side of it, because he's been going through a lot of study with Dr. Jack Cruz and why leptin is so important. I don't want to get you lost in the terminology, but leptin and ghrelin. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. Leptin is the satiation hormone, like stop eating. Because the other side effect of this beautiful extract, it tells you don't need to eat any more food, because you have enough nutrition, because the vagus nerve is supported It is reading the energy from the food and says, stop, you don't need any more. When leptin is not working, the only signal that we have is stomach expansion. And you'll eat too much and you're full and you're bloated because the leptin is not working. That is a huge thing that is triggered by sunlight. And it's very much connected to the vagus nerve. So if we've got too much blue light, too much screen time, not enough time with the certain timing in the day with the sunrise and the sunset and the grounding mechanisms, your leptin is not working. The other thing that's not going to work is in your mitochondria, the ATP molecule, the part of the mitochondria that gives you energy, is not going to work. It's going to be hijacked. It's not going to be functioning properly. And you're trying to figure out why the hell you're so tired all the time. Because let me tell you, the doctors will tell us we need to lose fat, right? They tell us we need to lose weight because you got high blood pressure, you got this, blah, 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 blah. But if you have no freaking energy, how are you going to drag your ass to the gym? It's impossible. You're not, even to go for a walk down the street. Are you kidding me? If you got zero energy, you got zero energy. And I'm going to let you know it's not your fault. It is not your fault. Things were designed as catalysts that were released upon us to cause us to have dis-ease. But this is the year that we get our health back. So this is the trifecta. I'm letting you know this is the trifecta that will get your health back. And I have all of that on Patreon to share with you. I would love to have a conversation with you. I'd love to introduce you to this mature hops extract. You can't get it anywhere. I'm a direct marketer of it, and I'm not here trying to make money off of you because I don't give a rat's ass if I got paid for this or not. I don't get paid for the information that Dr. Attah shared. I don't get paid for Cellcore on the parasite cleanse, but I do get paid for those who decide to try the mature hops extract. But let me tell you what, even if I didn't, I would still be here talking to you about it. Because if I didn't take it, I wouldn't be here talking to you about it. I wouldn't have this incredible energy to be able to function, to have everything working and regulated in my body now, sleeping all night long. Here's the other side of it, guys. I don't get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night anymore. Any of you listening, whether you're on the replay or you're on the live stream with me, do you get up to go to the bathroom several times a night? If you do, something is wrong in your body. We are supposed to be able to sleep all night long and then get up in the morning and be able to urinate at that time. If you're getting up multiple times in the night, that's because there's a dysregulation going on within the vagus nerve. I can't even begin to tell you how nice it is to actually sleep 8 hours and not have to get up to go to the restroom. That has been something in my life for like 20 years, and I don't do that anymore. So if it wasn't something that I would make money off of, I wouldn't share it, or I would share it with you, because it's important for us to get our health back. And I am a walking miracle because of all the things that transpired in my life. All of these things that came to me in a very precise measure, steps 1, 2, and 3, and I'm sharing it here with you. What does that mean in the long run? That means that I'm going to have the ability to be able to start sharing more on YouTube. For those of you who decided to not go to Patreon, you're going to be able to see some more short clips from Patreon and Ken's sharing because I now have the energy to be able to do this. And I want to be able to connect to you because many of you have been supporters since we started this channel. And I wanted to release this information to you because if you're having issues, if you're interested at all in learning about this bioresonance regenesis technology, this energy scanner that can just take a look at where your body needs homeostasis. Homeo means body, stasis means balance. I'd love to introduce it to you. I'd love to have a discussion with you about it. You just need to reach out to me. My email, cahusband12@gmail.com. I don't usually look through a lot of the messages on YouTube because sometimes there's too many and I don't have the time to filtrate through all of that. If you want information, reach out to me, cahusband12@gmail.com. Be specific about your requests and I will get back to you. And I will do it as quickly as I can, managing on my own time, making sure that I have my self-care going on because I'm not going to lose myself in the process of trying to bring wellness protocols to people because I have to take care of this temple first. And that's probably the biggest reason why I'm talking to you guys today. It is very important that you take care of your own temple. And there are reasons why it hasn't been functioning properly. Your body is not failing you. There has been agendas that have been released on us. And there's another whole side of it with what 5G is all about, but I'm not going to get into that here either, because we've been dealing with like this electronic kind of warfare that has been launched on all of us. So it's not your fault. Have hope, because the answers are here. And I'm going to continue talking about this because I can see how it's directly related to the sacred languages. And when you're in hell, when you're in Sheol, when you don't have answers, it's very frustrating. And I want to be the temple of reply, Ba'it Noth. I want to be Ba'it Noth to help bring those answers to you. But you have to do something with the information. You've heard us say for years, change does not happen without application. So if we're providing the information for you, it's going to be up to you to decide whether or not that information is something valuable enough that you want to bring it into your life. Information, the first two letters in means without. Formation. So the information is being given to you because with your without formation, you're taking it in so you can do something to form yourself by it. And so when we can get all of this information and apply it to ourselves, lamed, gathering the information, then we can have authority over our own body instead of being subject or being in a place where we're imprisoned. So we can stop saying, let us go, and enter into the second exodus where we arise. And then you can say, here we go, because I am unstoppable. It's been a long time since I have been able to have, hi Ra, it's a long time since I've been at that place where I've been able to look at infinite possibilities and saying, what can I do now instead of what I can't do? Let that sink in. If any of you have been at that place where you're like, well, I can't do that, I can't go there, I can't do this. We are in an exodus of multifaceted ways, because this mature hops extract, what it's done for my life, has not only been an abundance of life, I literally am living life abundantly in all areas, because it helps support the pineal gland, and that Pana'el, the face of God, that's the antenna where we're receiving information, our downloads. So it's affecting our consciousness levels. It's supporting the entire body, soul, spirit, the whole package, the entire package. I just shared with you the trifecta to get your health back. So if you want to do this, I'm holding my hand out. I have the information to get to you. If you want to go, here we go, let's go run our race, then reach out. And if you don't, that's okay. I will never tell anybody anything. I will never tell them what to do. I will provide the information, and then you can choose what you want to do. But for me and my house, we have chosen the way. The information has been provided, and I even share Ken's testimony. It's not my place to share, but he's had amazing stuff that's transpired too in the 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks that we have been doing this final step with the mature hops extract. It is life-changing. And the testimonies from the people that I've introduced this to, people that I've heard taking it, are so incredible. Some of them have literally brought me to tears. I was actually discussing that with somebody this morning, one of my clients with the Regenesis. And she was sharing some amazing things with me that has transpired in her own household. You know, I will share this, it's not sharing any names because I'm keeping this private. She and her husband hadn't been able to be intimate in years because he was dealing with ED issues. And we're talking like a decade. And they're in their 40s for a decade dealing with ED issues. And they were able, after 12 days, they were able to reconnect in that level again. Do you know what that does in changing a relationship? There's so many things that it does affect, and it helps the body rebalance itself. And I want to share this with you. because I'm shouting it from the rooftop because I finally got my life back. I'm finally full of energy. I'm back to the zeal. I miss my champagne moments. I miss sharing champagne moments with all of you because I know if I'm feeling it, you're feeling it. So please reach out, ask me questions. I want to share all of this with you. I can help you with it. I can help coach you through it because this is the year that we are getting our health back. This is the year where wealth is flowing. And if you want to come and hang out and do this thing with me, I'm all in. I am 100% all in. I've had some people say that I took a wrong turn by talking about health and wellness. Like, oh, you're missing the mark. I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm exactly where I need to be, sharing exactly what I need to be sharing to all of you. I didn't miss the mark. I'm right where I need to be because I know if I was struggling, you're struggling. And if you just go inside, if you guys feel that you are completely different than before COVID hit, there's a reason. But I'm here to bring good news. You don't have to stay that way. And you don't have to suffer anymore. And you definitely don't need to go the journey that I went. Because a lot of what I'm seeing right now, the heart is really being attacked. It's really, really being attacked. And I'm even seeing issues. I have the ability to look and see what the vagus nerve is doing. And one side is completely crippled. I can see what's going on with the left and right hemisphere. And one is completely crippled. Do you think there's a reason why the areas that are being crippled has to do with our creative energy? There was information a long time ago about suppressing the God molecule or the God portion of us. And that's the very exact thing that I'm seeing. It's been crippled. And that is the creative energy as co-creators of what we're doing here in Westworld. And it's crippled. And it's all because of an agenda 80 years in the making that now all of that information is coming forward and we can do something about it. Because when you know that there's poisons, toxins, and venoms, you can deal with it. When you know that there's parasites, you can deal with it. When you're aware that your vagus nerve is not working and you have stress and you have anxiety and you have digestive issues and you have sleep issues and the hormones are not functioning properly, there's something that can be done about that as well to support a healthy functioning vagus nerve, which will change freaking everything. Reach out, ask me questions. I'm here to help. More will come. I will have some more live streams. And if this is not your cup of tea and you want me just to share about the sacred languages, I'll bring them both in. But I'm not going to stop talking about this because the temple has been compromised. And I love all of you so much that I am putting myself out there to tell you my story because I kept it super private because frankly, I didn't think it was anybody's business. And I didn't want you guys looking at me with pity or, oh my God, Carrie's sick. I was handling my own shit and I was doing it my way. But now I'm on the other side. I have crossed over. I have life abundantly and I have flow in all of these areas. I never thought this was going to be possible. I never thought I would even see my bank account increasing in levels that I never dreamed of in less than 4 weeks. The last thing I want to talk about is that the company I'm working with, that last miracle molecule, that amazing mature hops extract, is bringing out another product this summer. I didn't even tell you about the weight loss that I've had. Holy cow, how did I forget that? This mature hops extract works on the visceral fat. And if you guys know about visceral fat, it's the stuff we don't want, the brown fat that surrounds all of our organs and can really make the body not be in balance. Holds all the toxins. It's the body's way to protect us from all the toxins that we deal with, food, water, air, you name it. It burns it for 9.5 hours. 1 dropper full burns it for 9.5 hours. I've dropped 5 pounds. My clothes are fitting better. Did I measure? No, but I can sure tell by my clothes. I put on a pair of pants the other day that I couldn't even button, and I'm buttoning it, and there's no muffin top. So inches, I don't know. I'm just fitting in clothes I haven't been able to for years. This product that's coming out in the middle of June works on the subcutaneous fat. Why is it important? It raises your basal metabolic without adding exercise. It's the energy that your body uses in order to keep you alive if you're doing nothing. So like when I was sitting in bed because I couldn't do anything else, my basal metabolic rate was 1,400 calories. If I was eating more than 1,400 calories, my body would have to store it in the subcutaneous fat because I wasn't burning it. I was eating more than my body was actually using to keep myself alive. So imagine this. Imagine your body being overweight, your joints hurt because you've got too much weight on you. You can't go out and exercise, but you take something that is coming from plants, from berries, and from the grape seed extract that will increase your basal metabolic rate by 35%. That means between 1.5 to 2 pounds a week is being shed off your body, burning that subcutaneous fat without you having to step in a gym. Over the course of time, you can see how much that adds up. 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, without you having to go to the gym. Because for some of you, you can't do it. The other side of it is it really works energetically and synergistically with the mature hops extract to even help that even greater levels of getting rid of the brown fat. And why is this important? Because we've all seen how Ozempic and Wegovy, I know you guys have been tempted and the doctors are telling you to do this. Ozempic and Wegovy is Gila monster venom. How many of you are on a short supply of venom? Are any of you on a short supply of venom? Last time I heard, venom is poisonous to the body. Paralyzes the stomach muscles, shuts it down for 2 years, and in some cases is permanent. And then when you can't process the food, it rots in your gut, causes you to vomit, causes you to get sick, and then the body, to sustain itself, has to start breaking down muscle for the protein, and then it has to break down bone for the minerals. So people are getting like stage 4 osteoporosis. They're wasting away. You get that hoarse, saggy face because it's eating all of your muscles. Please don't do that. We have natural ways. The healings are in the leaves and the flowers and the plants. It was all given to us, and this is being released for such a time as this. June of last year is when the mature hops extract came out. It's been here. They discovered it in 1953, but the process in order to extract it from the flower, 1 gallon cost $1 million in 1953. So the only people that could afford this were the ultra wealthy. But they were able to find a new way to do it, to make it available to all of us. And they launched it June of last year. I am so grateful because now the temple can get clean. I've shared with you everything that I did. I'm running an amazing race. I'm losing weight. I'm feeling good. I got my zip back. I'm getting to do the things that I wanted to do, and I'm getting to share it with all of you, and I'm here. I'm talking about it. I'm wanting you to know. Yes, Paula, venom. Yes, venom. It's time to get our health back, and I'm here to help. As a coach, I'm here to help. I'm just going to give you the information. You make your decision. I'm not going to take up any of your time. I've been on here long enough. I've already been speaking for an hour. I wasn't planning on going, but I thank you for joining me today. I thank you for listening. Please reach out. Stop over at Patreon. I'll put it in the link down below after this gets done so that you guys, if you don't know that we have a Patreon channel, you can go over there. You can do free subscription if you want, just into the Sarafa program. At least go into the collections and pull up Sarafa. All of the information is there. And leave messages. Send me a message. I want to help you because that's why I'm here. This is part of that patchwork quilt that was in all of those pieces that I'm now getting to put together to finish and complete the quilt. The reason why I came in for such a time as this. And I'm holding out my hand. Join. Let's go. No, let's not go. Here we go. All right, you guys. Much love. You'll be seeing more from us in the future. I'm glad to be back.